My biggest takeaway moment was when I learned, when Tony taught, that it's the perceived offer is what people are not buying. They don't understand my offer. And logically that makes a bunch of sense, but let me tell you, internally that was really affecting me because it made me resistant to ever put another offer out there, because I thought all along that people were rejecting me. So when Tony broke it down and said, listen, they're not rejecting you as a person, they're not even rejecting your gift, but there's the perceived offer. They're rejecting the offer. They don't understand what you're offering. And that was a huge epiphany for me, because all of the 10 years that I've been coaching, every time I put out an offer, there was always that sting of rejection that really crippled me. Honestly, it just really hurt to put something out there and for my audience to say, yeah, we're not interested. And so there were moments where, you know, honestly, there were times that I reached out to Tony and just kind of was like crying and go, hey, this is really pushing on some buttons for me. And to be able to have someone like Tony who really understands the emotional aspect, not just the marketing, because for me, there's that disconnect when someone's walking me through something that's so vulnerable and important to me, like my business, to just make it about marketing and very logical, I disassociate with that. But for Tony to be able to walk me through even on the emotional side and say, listen, I totally understand, and to even help me experience what I was experiencing, but also to get on the other side, that's worth its weight in gold. So with Tony addressing the emotional side of it, and then being able to realize, okay, they're not necessarily rejecting me, it's just a perceived offer. From that, I was able to really dive into the research, to dive into cultivating what my message is, because it wasn't about me. That button was taken off. Now I could just jump into it and realize that it's really about my client and me voicing my message in a place that they can be able to receive it, and not just receive it, but understand it and take action on what I'm offering. Back now that I know what my message is and I know what I'm selling, there's so much precision in that. I feel like, you know, I feel empowered. I feel like I can tackle my message when I'm putting out a YouTube video, when I'm putting out a post. The impact of what I do for people with intimacy, I realized, wow, this is imperative. Like, this actually saves lives. But when my message was just so all over the place, when I was speaking to everyone and not just to that individual client, it was very hard for me to connect with the impact of what my work does. It was so, I kind of have an idea of what I do, but narrowing down my message and really getting very clear on who my customer avatar is, and then chewing away from everything else that doesn't speak to their needs, to their heart. Having that clear focus really gave me the power inside to go, you know what, I can do this. I can speak to my client, and there's a big need there. And if I don't step up and make that very clear for them to receive it, then it all goes to waste. I think the biggest fear that any coach faces is, oh great, here's another program that I'm gonna invest in. But let me tell you, I've been doing this for over 10 years and I have invested. But at the end of the day, if you don't know what you're selling, and if your audience doesn't know what you're selling, you're just producing content for the sake of content. And there's nothing more invalidating to spread out and give out your gift and not be compensated financially for that. There's nothing more frustrating than that. And so I would encourage you, if you're fearful and you're like, oh, here goes another program that I'm about to make an investment in, I look at it as, you know what, here are 10 years that I could have saved off of my life by just throwing out content, throwing out offers that the market wasn't resonating with. And wow, just going through this program made sense. Now my audience connects with me and I'm connected with my audience. How much more time will you waste? And how many more clients go unserved because they don't know what your message truly is?